know, I'm Veronica Montez, Sam's big sister. Okay, Margin Charge, whatever. My parents and siblings wanted to share a little bit about Sam, the son and the brother. So Sam was born on June 28, 1966 at White Memorial Hospital in East LA. And my mom cried so much that day because she was just so happy, tears of joy, because she was having a son. I mean, I'm the second child, you know, and so happy to give my dad a son to carry his name. And also, I'm still a Montez. He was such a cute little boy and happy little boy, and my mom wanted me to share some memories she had of him. Most people don't know this, but Sam had a blankie and he sucked his thumb. He was so attached to that blanket that when mom had to wash it and gave him something else to use, he'd sneak out, pull his original blankie off the clothesline, yes, this was a long time ago, and still wet, and bring it back inside. One time at Santa's village, he was riding a mule by himself, and the mule took a dump, and so the saddle got loose, and Sam stayed on the saddle and flipped upside down all the way underneath the mule. Sam was famous for saying the darndest things. So once he asked mom, "Who's older, you or Grandma Lolita?" And mom says to him, "Well, who looks older?" And he goes, "You?" Mind you, my grandmother didn't have my mother until she was 42. So, as a teenager and young adult, he definitely kept mom and dad on their toes. Mom was basically his Uber from his teenage years, when she told him, "Always call if ever you get in trouble. If ever you get in trouble, you can call me, I'll come and get you." All the way to the weekend before he passed, when she drove Sam and Teresa to a music festival, no surprise, at the Rose Bowl. When Sam started a co-ed family baseball team in Arizona, because there's enough of them in Arizona, mom and dad happened to be visiting in Arizona on their first game, and he was short one female player. So he tells mom, "Mom, come play catcher." She said, "But I don't have tennis shoes." And Sam made her wear his tennis shoes. Sam and mom had a running joke. Every birthday, Mother's Day, any special occasion, she'd say, "This is the woman who almost died giving birth to you." His messages would be, "This is from the child you almost died giving birth to." She still has one of those voicemails saved and will cherish it forever. Dad shared a memory too. He handed little Sam an animal cracker. So Sam grabs it with one hand, and then Dad handed him another animal cracker, so now he's got one in each hand. And Dad was curious, what is he gonna do if I hand him another one? So of course, Dad hands him another one, and Sam goes, ready to get another one. And then he's like, "Let me do it again." So it just kept going back and forth. He always wanted more. Once Dad asked Sam, "How much do you love me?" Sam thought for a moment and said 5. It was the highest number he could count to at the time. He did get better with numbers, clearly. Dad was so proud of Sam. He remembers when Sam got his first real job as an accountant at Certified Grocers while he was still in college. They liked him so much that they offered him a full-time role, but Sam turned it down to pursue long-term opportunities. He graduated and was immediately hired by KPMG, and then in 1994, he transferred to their Phoenix office as a manager. Everywhere he ever worked, people loved and respected him. Hold on. Sorry. Like Dad, nothing mattered more to Sam than family. He wanted his children to have a good education and a strong religious foundation, so they went to Catholic school just like we did. Dad especially remembers Sam's humor. One time, while playing pool with his son Sam and Roland, he was beating them badly. And Sam laughed. He looks at Dad, he goes, "Now I know where they get that saying, 'Who's your daddy?'" Vanessa always looked up to her big brother. She remembers going to house parties in high school. Our parents didn't know, by the way. And running into him, and Sam would say, "What are you doing here?" And they were just... As they got older, he'd drag her out. I think some of you might remember this, might have the same experience. "Come on, just one drink." And it was never, ever just one. A favorite memory was the Sonoma trip he organized for her 50th birthday. During COVID, mind you, we were super spreaders. It kicked off a whole series of cousin trips. Another was their shared 50th birthday bash with Mark, with the Past Action Heroes as the band. It was a blast. They wore very interesting costumes. She'd call him about Dodger spring training, and suddenly there'd be tickets for everyone. The four of them, Sam, Teresa, Vanessa, and Mark, became a team. Roland remembers when he was 3 and Sam was 10. Sam took a toy, so Roland was chasing him through our house, upstairs, downstairs, and Sam stubbed his toe and fell down crying. And Roland runs over to him, grabs his toe, and runs away. And it turned out Sam broke his toe. Roland also grew up listening to Sam's music. So Rush, Ozzy Osbourne, Talking Heads, those were the things that he listened to so much when he was young. Every concert Roland ever went was with Sam. And then when Roland had his first son, Noah, Sam came to the hospital. He asked to hold the baby and handed Roland his phone and said, "Hey bro, take my picture." But you could barely see the baby in the picture. And for me, Sam was my first best friend. He followed me everywhere. And he called me sister, I called him brother, until the 3rd grade when I was embarrassed that he was still doing that while we were in school. But when we started using again, all 3 of us, that's what we call each other now, brother, sister. As a big sister, I often came to his aid. When he was 3, he locked himself in the bathroom, and I called 911, and the firemen put me through the bathroom window so that I could get him out. I got into neighborhood fights to protect him, but like many siblings, we also fought. I once gave him stitches when he actually dared me. But let me tell you what. He dared me to punch him in the face. Who does that? You can find any of us, just like Pop said, any of us for more stories like Dumber Than You, Who Called the Cops, the beginning of his golf career, breaking windows, learning the value of money, being picked up by people, and the time he shattered the only TV that we had in the house with a hockey puck. Sam was adventurous and fun, but he was also deep, thoughtful, and passionate. He grew up surrounded by family and friends. Every Sunday at Grandma and Grandpa's with all of our cousins. Trips to El Golfo, Pismo Beach, Yosemite with our parents' friends. Camping with the entire Montez family at Little Africa. The trip from hell with the Guerreros. Playing on Isabel Street from sunup to sundown with all of our neighbors, many of them here today. Sam loved those times so much, he recreated them for his kids and his grandkids. When our kids were little, we took trips to Lake Tahoe, Pops fell down the stairs, and Laughlin. We got stranded in the water. Now we go to Dodger games. So far that's been safe. We go to Dodger spring training every year. Anytime a family member came into town, Sam turned that simple visit into a big, huge celebration. So he was always celebrating. There are a million more memories. We are blessed to have Sam in our lives. He was the glue that held our celebrations together. We'll keep him close in our hearts by continuing his traditions and cherishing the memories we all made with him. We love you, son, mijo, and brother. Thank you. So, Vanessa mentioned that there's no one person that could possibly talk about Sam. So now we have Paul Evans, who's a close friend of Sam that worked with him for many years, and he's going to share his perspective.